stop.
We not gonna even go there. I stopped a major thing for Beyonce. I'm going to do it right now.
We're older. She's married.
Okay, so you really think you've seen every side of Beyonce and Jay-Z? That you've already heard every rumor, every secret, every story people tried to hide? Think again, because what's being whispered right now, it's different. This isn't just another headline about cheating or a recycled scandal from years ago. This isn't something people can laugh off or scroll past. This time, the story cuts deeper, and the names involved make it impossible to ignore.
But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching because you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself because this right here is going to go viral.
And the moment Lala Anthony opened her mouth, everything changed. Because somehow, some way, the conversation turned toward Kelly Rowland. Yes, Kelly. The same Kelly who stood next to Beyonce before the fame, before the spotlight, before the world even knew their names. And what Lala hinted at, it wasn't clear, it wasn't direct, but it was enough. Enough to make people pause. Enough to make fans uncomfortable. Enough to send the internet into complete chaos. Because what she suggested wasn't just about relationships being complicated, it was about lines being crossed. It was about friendships changing in ways nobody expected. And it was about a private moment, something hidden that may have blurred everything between Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Kelly in a way that still hasn't been fully understood. And when people started connecting the dots, that's when the real storm began. To understand why this story feels so heavy, you have to go back, way back, to a time before the fame changed everything. Before sold-out tours and billion-dollar deals, Beyonce and Kelly were just two young girls chasing a dream. They weren't just friends, they were family.
Beyonce's new album, have you heard it yet? Have you had an opportunity to give some thoughts on the whole thing?
I sure have. It's great. It's absolutely great.
Really different though, right?
Yes, really different. But getting back to what I'm here to talk about, Claritin, I'm very excited to be teaming up with Claritin.
They lived together, they practiced for hours, they shared the same struggles, the same fears, the same hope that one day their voices would be heard. When they became part of Destiny's Child, their bond didn't just grow, it became something people admired, something real. Fans didn't just love their music, they loved their connection. It felt genuine, it felt unbreakable. Even when the group went through changes, even when other members came and went, Beyonce and Kelly stayed side by side, like nothing could ever come between them. They laughed together, cried together, supported each other through everything. And for years, people believed nothing would ever shake that bond. But then, Jay-Z entered the picture. At first, it seemed simple. He was a powerful figure in the industry, a mentor, someone who understood the business at a level most people didn't. His connection with Beyonce started professionally, but slowly it turned into something more. When their relationship became public, fans celebrated. It felt like a power move, like two strong forces coming together. But quietly, things started to shift.
You know how, you'll kind of talk yourself out of things? I used to do that. Yeah. And now, I'll catch myself, about to do it. I'm like, no. Here we go. I've just, reposition the thought to not be glass half empty, but half.
Kelly was still there, still present, but something about the dynamic felt different. Not obvious, not dramatic, just different. Fewer shared moments, fewer glimpses into that sister-like closeness people were used to seeing. At the time, nobody thought too much about it. Life changes, people grow, relationships evolve. That's normal. But now, looking back, people are starting to question everything. Because what if those small changes meant more than anyone realized?
We always tried to work out our differences and communicate between each other. We always tried to communicate, but we were having problems for a while now.
The rumor didn't explode overnight. It started subtly, almost casually. Lala Anthony was having a conversation, one of those interviews where celebrities talk about love, relationships, and how complicated things can get behind closed doors. At first, it sounded harmless. She talked about trust, about how fame can blur boundaries, about how people in the industry sometimes live very different lives than what the public sees. But then, her tone shifted. She mentioned situations where couples invite others into their personal space, not in a way that's easy to explain, but in a way that changes relationships forever. She didn't name anyone, not at first, but she smiled. She paused, and then she said something that made people lean in closer. She said there are stories out there that would shock the world if they ever came out. That was it. No details, no confirmation, no direct accusation. But it didn't matter, because the internet did the rest.
An elevator. We don't know what that was about. Again, I don't even have free passes to the 40/40 club.
And how you spent a lot of money on all the Renaissance.
But I did that because I never ever wanted to ask for anything free. Because Floyd Mayweather taught me a long time ago, don't ask nobody for nothing free because you don't want to be obligated to them. I pay for everything because I don't ever want people to say, why you say that? Don't say that. Nobody calls me and says, I say what I want to say.
Within hours, people started connecting her words to Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Kelly. Old clips resurfaced. Old interviews were rewatched. Fans began analyzing body language, conversations, even the way they looked at each other in certain moments. And suddenly, what once seemed normal started to feel questionable.
But yes, Ray J, from what I was told, from being inside at the highest level, that Jay-Z likes to watch Beyonce with different men, such as Ray J.
People began asking, was there ever a moment where boundaries were crossed? Was there ever a situation that blurred the lines between friendship and something more complicated? And the more people talked about it, the more intense the speculation became. But here's the twist. Nobody involved said a word. No denial, no clarification, no attempt to shut it down. And that silence, it made everything louder. Because usually when something big comes out about Beyonce, it gets handled quickly. Her team is known for controlling narratives, for protecting her image at all costs. But this time, nothing. And that made people wonder even more. Jay-Z's past didn't help either. Everyone remembers the mistakes he admitted to. Everyone remembers the music, the apologies, the public effort to rebuild his marriage. So when his name gets pulled into something like this again, people don't just ignore it. They start questioning. They start wondering if the truth is more complicated than what's been shown. And then there's Kelly. What really caught people's attention was her reaction, or lack of one. She stayed quiet. No comments, no jokes, no dismissive statements. Just silence. And for some fans, that silence felt heavy. Because if something was completely false, wouldn't someone say something? Wouldn't someone laugh it off?
But when nobody speaks, people start filling in the blanks themselves. As the rumors spread, fans started noticing little things. Moments where Beyonce seemed more reserved than usual. Appearances where her energy felt different. Videos where people claimed she looked emotional, even though there was no clear reason why. Of course, nobody can truly know what she's feeling, but once a story takes hold, everything becomes part of the narrative. Every look, every pause, every expression. People began saying that if there was any truth to the rumors, it could explain so much. Why certain friendships seemed less visible, why some connections felt distant compared to before, why things changed in ways that were never fully explained. And suddenly, what used to feel like a perfect image started to look fragile. The emotional weight of this story is what makes it so hard to ignore, because if there's even a small piece of truth behind it, it means something deeply personal may have happened between people who once trusted each other completely. Imagine building your life with someone, growing up together, sharing dreams, calling each other family, and then something happens that changes everything. Even if you move past it, even if you forgive, even if you try to keep things together, it never feels exactly the same again. That's what people keep coming back to, not just the rumor itself, but what it represents. A shift, a moment where everything changed, and maybe never fully went back to how it was. For Beyonce, the pressure must feel overwhelming. Being in the spotlight means every rumor becomes a headline, every whisper becomes a story people dissect. And when it involves people close to you, it hits differently. It's not just about image anymore. It's about relationships, trust, history. For Kelly, the situation is just as complicated because her connection with Beyonce isn't something casual. It's deep, it's layered, it's built over years that can't simply be erased. And for Jay-Z, being at the center of another controversy only adds to the narrative people already have about him. Fair or not, his past follows him. And when stories like this surface, they bring everything back into question. But here's what makes this even more powerful. Nobody actually knows the full truth. There are no confirmed details, no real evidence, just hints, just moments, just a comment that opened the door to something people can't stop thinking about. And sometimes that's all it takes, because in the world of fame, mystery can be louder than facts. Silence can feel like a statement, and unanswered questions can become the stories people believe the most. Right now, fans are watching closely. Every interview, every appearance, every interaction, looking for signs, looking for answers, trying to understand what really happened behind closed doors. But maybe that's the point. Maybe some stories aren't meant to be fully understood. Maybe some moments stay private, no matter how much the world tries to uncover them. Or maybe this is just the beginning, because when names like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kelly Rowland, and Lala Anthony get pulled into the same conversation, one thing is certain: the story isn't going away anytime soon. And whether it's truth, misunderstanding, or something in between, people will keep watching, they'll keep wondering, and they'll keep asking the same question over and over again. What really happened when nobody else was looking?